Welcome to RPG Ranked, the channel where all your favorite RPGs are ranked.
What's up, RPG nerds? This is Brighton Nelson from RPG Ranked, and if you enjoy RPGs, please like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Alright, let's get right into this video with all of the path actions in Octopath Traveler 2 Ranked. I went around, I got all 8 travelers in 3 hours, and I sped run that heck out of that so I could get used to these path actions. And I think I have a pretty solid take on which ones are good, which ones are bad, and which ones are mid. So let's start in last place. In last place, we have Guide, number 16, D tier. Alright, why would I use Guide when I could be using Allure or higher? Allure is incredibly powerful in battle due to the dance session ability, which makes Agnia an obscenely powerful support character. And Partido's higher allows you to get a huge boost in the amount of leaves you gain. So honestly, Guide kind of sucks. Even Befriend is better than this trashy path action. At least Befriend doesn't make you level up to insanely high levels to recruit people. You just have to give them weird food. By the time you're at a high enough level to get people worth guiding, you could have recruited them eons ago with any of the other 3 abilities. Overall, Temenos' Guide is easily the worst path action in the game. I cannot pronounce words. I can barely speak English, guys. Alright, let's move on to Bribe, number 15, C tier. Bribe is definitely a situational path action, but it also is definitely better than Guide. Though I think it is stupid to pay money for information, I can see there being a situation where the Scrutinize percentage is pretty low. The townsperson's strength is way too high to use Coerce, and their level requirement is way too high to use Inquire. And then, therefore, paying them off might be a good option. Although, Scrutinize is infinitely better than this ability, and you can just try your luck and maybe have to pay the town keeper. But I do see Bribe having a little bit of a situational use, so I didn't say it was in D tier. Alright, let's move on to Befriend, which is in C tier in number 14. Just like Bribe, I see this ability having situational use, right? But also like Bribe, I didn't want to give away my good healing items when I could just use Allure or higher. Besides, Ochet can already summon beasts, and she doesn't need to waste a turn summoning some weak townsperson when she could summon a beast that can do much more. Honestly, summoning townspeople is not very good, but in this game we have business partners and dance session, which makes having people on your team much better. Alright, let's move into the last path action in C tier, and that is the Inquire path action. Like Guide, this ability is not very good, but during the endgame when you are at a high enough level and you're just trying to knock out side quests as fast as possible, Inquire is a pretty dang good ability. Like in the first game, I had a bunch of early game side quests that I was like putting off because I had no idea how to do them. And I realized I had to get information, right? And I brought Alphen along, and it was just a guarantee to get the information, where that's a point where Scrutinize isn't quite as good as when you're just trying to finish side quests. However, I think as a whole, Scrutinize is a much better ability than Inquire. But Inquire is still situational and usable. Alright, let's move on to the B tier. We have Soothe in 12th place. If you want to avoid battle but want to get past somebody, this is the way to go. But as always, I'd rather battle them than use items that I could put to use elsewhere. However, I still do love this ability. The animation is hilarious, and there are definitely times I'd rather I'd rather use this than grind to the point where I can beat up enemies. Some of those enemies, you like get to the second town and they have like freaking 9 strength. Like on one of those guys, I'm going to use Soothe. Like put them to sleep, break into their house, right? Like all the way. But yeah, usually I'd rather use Ambush or Provoke to get past somebody in the way. Speaking of Ambush, that is the next in the B tier. Though you have to wait for a townsperson to be at high enough level to actually use this ability on them. Since there are only 2 ways to knock somebody out, this is a better ability than the previous abilities. There are definitely situations where fighting somebody on your own is better than summoning monsters with Provoke. But since you have to wait to level yourself up, it isn't quite as good. Overall, this is an ability that's great in a lot of situations, but still not quite as good as Provoke. Alright, let's move on to the next in B tier, and that is in number 10, Coerce. Possibly the most interesting path action in the game. It's too bad that it isn't one of the best. The idea is that you have to break somebody in battle, and then you get the information from them, so you have to battle them for information, right? But this is terrible early in the game because Temenos is the last person you want to be taking part in a duel. A cleric with like no options of breaking, yeah, that's kind of stupid. You only have 2 weak points you can hit people with, light and staves. Like, you do not want to be dueling with someone like that. However, if you get some sort of secondary job later in the game that's multi-target attacks, not multi-target, multi-hit attacks, and you combine that with latent power judgment, especially if you can get the War Master in this game. I'm not sure if you can yet, but if you give him Guardian Lion Dog or Windhild's Battle Cry and then use judgment, latent power, this will be an awesome ability. Coerce might be in like the top 3 for me, but as is, yeah, it might be better than Scrutinize, honestly. But as is, it seems like it'll be great in the future, but since it really sucks in the early game, I couldn't put it higher than B tier. Right, next is Entreat. This literally gives you items for free. It's like Steal but better, except it's not better. The problem, Steal, Mug, and Purchase are reliable. This one isn't. You have to wait until you're at a high enough level to use this, and the level caps are actually pretty obscene. Like, I was trying to get like a healing grape, like a medium healing grape, and it took me like getting a level 18 or something. Like, healing grape, medium healing grapes aren't even like a good item or anything. So I think they'll like a lot of these items will lose their use by the point that you have Agony at a high enough level to actually use Entreat. But as much as this is a fantastic ability, a great idea, it's super easy to get items. Overall, you'll have to do a lot of grinding if you want this ability to be actually good path action. I think the only time I'm really going to make use of this ability is when I'm just sick and tired of like stealing from people, and I'll just put off that town. Let's say I go to the town that you get Ochet, and I'm like, heck, I'm not stealing from all 59 NPCs here. I'm going to wait for like 10 more hours of the game, then come back and use Entreat. That's probably... I think Entreat is a great ability if you're just trying to go through towns, or like you're over leveled because let's say you've completed all the chapter 2s or something, and then you go back to the first town or something and you're super high leveled, then yeah, I can see Entreat being good, and that's why I put it in 9th place, but it's not quite as good as these A, S, and S plus tier path actions. Alright, let's move on to the 2A tier path actions, and the first one is Purchase. If this game is anything like the first Octopath Traveler, there will be plenty of items that have a 0% steal rate, like the forbidden items, and Purchase will be a great ability during certain points in the game. Also, with the business partner's talent, there are some great benefits that come via purchasing and selling items. However, overall, Steal and Mug are still better in most circumstances, and this ability is a must-have for getting your hands on certain exclusive items. Next is Hire, also A tier. With the business partner's talent, the Hire ability is awesome. It'd be in last place if that talent wasn't epic, because I don't want to hire people to put them in battle because they can't really do anything. But since business partners is such an epic talent, Hire is an amazing path action. Is it good in battle? Heck no. Probably it's worse than Guide in battle, but out of battle, it got some good implications. So it's a must-have path action. Now moving on to the S tier path actions. First we have Provoke. If there's a pesky townsperson in your way, Provoke is the way to go to get him out of the way. Though Soothe and Ambush have situational uses, Provoke is usually the better choice due to how easy it is to capture monsters in this game. It allows you to choose the exact abilities you want to have before going into battle, and since you auto-capture beasts and keep them in your party for ages, this is an awesome path action. Adding that Ochet starting beast can break any weakness, so it makes it really easy to beat people up with this ability. Overall, Provoke is a very good path action, and it definitely is more useful than Ambush and Soothe in most situations. Next in S tier, we have Mug. Mug is definitely more convenient than Steal. Just beat up any enemy and you get all of their items. No need to keep reloading the game. This is a fantastic and fun ability, especially since Oswald is such a strong character that you want in battle anyway, and dueling with Oswald, dueling with your OP magic caster, that's a great idea. However, if you cannot beat the battle, especially since Oswald isn't really the tankiest character, you can't get the items, and all Steal takes is a bit of reloading or a bit of cash to the Tavern Keeper. So while I personally like Mug better, I do acknowledge that Steal is, in most cases, a better ability. So overall, yeah, this is a great ability, but not as good as the OG Steal command. Alright, the last we have in S tier is Scrutinize. Though Coerce will likely be Coerce, will likely, I don't even know how to pronounce that word, though Coerce will likely be my favorite by the end game. Scrutinize is definitely the best way to get information throughout the beginning, and I'm assuming the middle of the game. The success rate for Scrutinize is never all that low, and it's so much nicer than having to grind for Inquire to work. That bugs me. At first, yeah, Temenos is just not strong enough for Coerce. Like, maybe once we get him a Scholar, War Master, or whatever the heck, or Sorcerer, or whatever the heck, he'll be great for Coerce, but at first he just sucks, right? And I do not want to waste money with Bribe. So overall, Scrutinize doesn't always work, but it is so much more reliable, so much nicer than having to do a bunch of tedious things to actually be able to get information from people. Alright, now we have the S plus tier ones, because obviously having an S plus tier is a logical thing, right? Out of order letters and a plus sign. Like, what am I doing here? I don't know, but let's get into this. Allure is the first in S plus tier, with the relatively high success rates of Allure and the awesome dance session talent. Allure is a must-have ability. Though Allure and Guide were pretty terrible in the first game, you should always have someone recruited with Agnia as Allure, because those dance abilities, dance session, like, even at the very beginning of the game, I got some crazy dance session abilities. It was awesome. Overall, Allure is one of the best path actions, and you should definitely utilize it as much as possible. Next, we have Challenge, which is S plus tier. As long as you're at a high enough level, you can challenge people with Hikari and learn their abilities. This basically makes Hikari a powerful blue mage-like character, and this path action is why Hikari is such an awesome character. Honestly, if it wasn't for this path action, Hikari would by far be the worst character in this game, but I think he's going to be a very versatile character. Unlike Hikari's Bribe, I would use this ability as much as you can each time you enter a new town to make Hikari a replaceable character. This is going to make town exploration so much more interesting for me, because I'm going to talk to every freaking NPC trying to find who gives me a multi-target attack, who gives me a broken healing ability, who gives me steal SP, because I freaking love steal XP, who's going to give me, like, a weird, like, dark element thing, like, who's going to give me some wacky thing that I never expected that I could even have on one of my party members. Overall, if you put the effort into using the challenge path action, it is absolutely amazing. I'm so excited to keep using this path action. This is probably this and Coerce are probably, and Mug. This, Coerce, and Mug are my favorite path actions. Are they the best? No. But those are the ones that I am super excited to keep on using. And in first place, we have good old Steal. Steal was the best in the first game, and nothing has changed here. It just feels wrong to not steal from every townsperson, and it also feels wrong to say that it feels wrong to not steal from every townsperson. It makes me sound like a psychopath. Not an Octopath, a psychopath. But being able to keep a huge stockpile of amazing items at all times is something you should not pass up. Stealing insane equipment, stealing revitalizing jam, refreshing jam, right? You need all that shiz. Overall, Steal is the best pack action, and there's no questions about it. Thank you guys all for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, there are a bunch of other Octopath videos on the channel, and maybe there's not a bunch at this point, but there are a couple, and there will be so many more to come, because I am obsessed with this game right now. If you enjoyed this video, yes, please like, subscribe, comment, and tell me down below your favorite path actions in this game and which ones you think are the best. Thank you guys all for watching, and peace out, RPG nerds. Have a fantastic day.